Are you a pro wrestling fan? Then odds are at some point in your life, you were a backyard wrestler. In this new series, I'm going to take you through how we came from this to this. It's a long story, covering nearly 2 decades. But if you're a nostalgic person missing the backyard days of yesteryear and a simpler time of the 90s and early 2000s, this is the story for you. This is Backyard Wrestling Cinema.
It's recording right now.
Welcome to Backyard Wrestling Cinema Season 2, Episode 14. We finally arrived. Our pay-per-view, our biggest one to date, Repercussion, was here. We had a pay-per-view a few months previous, and it was the unification match between the BWL and the B4W, but this was our first standalone B4W event that was airing on public access. And this one was much more inclusive and featured much more of our roster than the previous one. Our first match was for the television title, which featured the champion Rico DMF taking on Slug. The angle was that Rico was starting to go crazy at this point.
I have one goal. I want to keep my belt. Down there. Leave the target with you. Stop like that. There's the ball. Constant pressure on the back and neck. Oh. One, two, three.
Rico got the win, but post-match, Slug did this nasty gore off this step stool that was near the entranceway, and conveniently there was padding right behind it, but it still looked cool for its time, and the idea was to keep their storyline going. Now, TLD did not have a match on this show, but he kept telling everybody he was showing up regardless. So we threw him in a match with somebody we worked with at the time at KB Toys. Myself and Rico DMF and Slug all worked at KB Toys in our local mall, and this guy, Ali the Egyptian Assassin, whose real name was just Andrew, and he was not a wrestling fan. He just wanted to come and try it out because we were always talking about it at work. In fact, at one point in the match, he even says he doesn't want to hit TLD.
Oh, he down. Whoop him. Oh, I want to hit him hardcore.
Like right on camera. We knew he wasn't going to come back, but we still had him beat TLD, even though TLD was there every single week.
Go DMF. Oh! He's choking him out! The Egyptian knockout! TLD should be done! Oh, he brings him down! Oh, he drops him way up top! Off the rope! Oh!
TLD had real life go-away heat with our locker room at the time, and he wasn't well liked because of things he would say and just stupid comments he would make. So everybody in the locker room took great pleasure in watching him get his beat in this match. Rico would eventually come out and give Ali the win.
He takes TLD! He puts the Egyptian assassin on top! 1, 2, 3! Woo! The Egyptian assassin has done it!
And it's the last time we would see Ali the Egyptian Assassin in B4W. Beast vs. Cobain was up next, and the hardcore title was on the line as Cobain would defend against the Beast. And everybody was legitimately excited about this one. Cobain was a real-life ragdoll, and the Beast was just a powerhouse. It did not disappoint.
Oh! Yeah, it's not. No slam on one match! Oh, that's just dangerous, folks. Wants to hurt? Cobain. Oh!
These guys beat the hell out of each other. In the end, the Beast got the victory and won the Hardcore Championship.
1. Okay. Oh my God! 2, 3, and he wins!
The United States title was on the line next as Tommy Thunder, the current champion, would defend against Mr. Benjamins. For its time, it was this great, back and forth, classic professional wrestling match. And to me, I would have shown this to professionals back in 2002. I was so confident that this was a great wrestling match. And obviously, looking back at it now, you see what it is. It's a backyard wrestling match between 2 kids. It's not bad, but it certainly doesn't hold up to The Undertaker or The Rock or John Cena or any of that stuff. If you would have asked me in 2002, could this have held up to those guys, I would have said absolutely. Show it to Vince McMahon, these guys are ready. In the end, Mr. Benjamins won the title.
Oh! We're getting He's a cheater! How can you do that? Benjamin, say no. Oh! Drop rope, Benjamin in the corner!
which saw him celebrate with his partner TJ Money, and it was a surefire bet to everybody that TJ Money would be walking away with his own championship in our main event coming up next. TJ Money would challenge for my world championship as TJ Money took on Denver Street. Now, TJ had beaten me weeks earlier for the hardcore title, so we had already established that he could beat my character, but we never established that I could beat his character. So that was the story going into this match.
TJ Money, they're squaring down now. Somebody is blistering down, folks. The big money clothesline. Tachiyami, the Tachiyami, the Tachiyami Money.
The match went back and forth with TJ having a counter for everything I did. When it was clear I couldn't beat him by myself, I started calling out for reinforcements. First, the Beast. When that didn't work,
My God, planting him in the ring. Yeah. Denver Street flexing his muscles. 1, 2, kick out by TJ Money.
I called out the Slug.
And a goal. Now it's TJ Money.
And once again, when that failed, I called out the newly returning Homeboy Joe Slice.
TJ Money. Oh, boy. 1, 2. Oh, my God. 3.
Now look, this was the era where taking chair shots was normal, and we didn't know anything about possible long-term issues. I mean, everybody did chair shots back then, but I remember even thinking back then that this was too much and this was going too far. But it was enough to help me retain the World Championship.
The tag partner in the book. 1, 2, 3. Oh, my God. It took 3 vicious chair shots.
Now I know what you're thinking, why didn't we put TJ Money over? We had been building up to this match, and this whole program was clearly designed to make him the next top guy. And it all goes back to me hearing some interview from some old wrestler like a Harley Race or a Ric Flair telling the story of how you can get more over from a loss in some cases than you can with a victory. I mean, the obvious answer is the belt was going to end up on TJ Money at some point, but I wanted to see if we could make him a bigger star for our show with a loss. And to me, that was a great challenge and something I really wanted to take up. And I think in this case, it's absolutely true. I think TJ Money left this match a bigger star than he was before he walked in. And I felt like he was a real main eventer after this match. Our next few weeks of TV would be shot and filmed and then reshot and refilmed because I didn't like how any of it turned out. TJ Money would get a rematch. Rico DMF would continue going crazy. Ali would not return. Benjamins and Tommy Thunder would wrestle one more time 1 year later on our biggest show to date, and it would be both of their final matches for B4W. We'll see you next week right here on Backyard Wrestling Cinema.
Rico gets the level. Rico breaks it. Oh, he's right. Big time suplex to Rhino. Known as Cobain. Oh, he nailed a rotating 360 street sweeper on TJ Money.